A plane crash in central Ohio leaves one man dead. While Ohio lawmakers push to ban e-cigarettes, one state is taking immediate action. And in sports, a former OU football player makes it to the next level. Newswatch starts right now.
Bruck, thank you for joining us. An Ohio man is dead following a plane crash in central Ohio. State troopers say a man from Piqua had died after a plane crashed around 7:30 this morning at Madison County Airport. There were no immediate reports of any other injuries. A dispatcher with the patrol's West Jefferson Post said no other details of the crash were available. The airport is closed to inbound and outbound flights as authorities continue to investigate. A former Ohio University football player pled not guilty earlier today to a number of charges. The Athens News reports 22-year-old Amir Miller is being charged with a 4th-degree felony of stalking and a 3rd-degree felony of having a weapon while under disability, among others. Miller is not listed as an active player on OU's 2019 roster. He played one game last season. The 5th annual Barbecue on the Bricks is happening right now outside of Baker Center in Athens. The event is meant to bring together cops, Bobcats, and Athens community members. Frank McDonald is a student and a community ambassador and says events like these are important so people can see cops in a different light.
Stuff like this helps bring people together, and I feel like it's pretty good. People are talking with each other, police are talking with regular people like me.
The barbecue was provided by Kaiser's Barbecue, and the event plans to happen same time next year. Ohio lawmakers are pushing for the money Purdue Pharma owes the state to be spent at the local level. Today, Attorney General David Yost said Ohio's specific legal involvement with this case can be misinterpreted. This comes after the drug company appeared in bankruptcy court yesterday. Last month, Yost sought to delay 2 counties' upcoming trials against the drug makers, arguing the pay should come all at once, allowing equal distribution of the funds across Ohio. Health officials in a West Virginia county have ended a needle exchange program aimed at decreasing the negative consequences of substance abuse. The Exponent Telegram reports the Harrison County Board of Health voted last night in Clarksburg to discontinue the program. The vote comes less than 2 weeks after the Clarksburg City Council approved an ordinance to regulate the program. The city ordinance ordered those receiving needles to meet requirements that include submitting blood tests and showing photo identification.
Well, it was a pretty beautiful evening out there tonight. Temperatures right around the lower 80s for most of the area. Right now in Athens, looking at temperatures right around 80 degrees. It's going to be a very sunny day out there this evening, going into the overnight hours tonight. As we move into tomorrow, it's going to be overnight tonight. Those temperatures are going to be dropping into the lower 60s, into the upper 50s for most of the area. And as we go further into overnight, it's going to be cooling down to about 59 degrees for the low tonight before that warms back up tomorrow. Not going to be reaching as hot as we did today. It's going to be around 78 degrees for tomorrow. But overall, it's going to be a very sunny day. It's going to be very beautiful conditions out there. So get outside, go for a walk, enjoy the day outside, enjoy the sunshine and the cooler temperatures before we have another warm-up coming up in a few days. Taylor?
Thank you, Blake. It is a good day. It's a good day to get outside and walk. All right, the Trimble County Police are looking for 2 suspicion of a DUI. The men, however, were not in a car. The men were Amish and operating a buggy. A sheriff's deputy spotted the pair in the buggy drinking spiked iced tea. The pair also had an empty 12-pack on the roof. When he attempted to stop the men, they fled into a wooded forest nearby. The sheriff's office says they still have a duty to enforce laws even in the heart of Amish country.
Fortunately, they're not licensed, as far as the buggy goes, but it is a vehicle, it's on the roadway, and the OVI laws do apply. You're not allowed to drink and drive or operate a buggy.
The horse pulling the buggy ran away, but deputies eventually caught it. Once authorities find out who the men are, they could be charged with failure to comply. A report says Ohio has continued with drug-related executions even after drug makers threatened to cut off supplies if medications were used for lethal injections. Copies of the letters obtained by the Columbus Dispatch show drug makers warned Ohio officials going back to at least 2015. Republican Governor Mike DeWine says he's concerned drug makers will cut off Ohio's supply of pharmaceuticals used for a multitude of medical purposes if Ohio ignores manufacturers' warnings against using drugs for executions. Coming up, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo travels to Saudi Arabia. Plus, a young climate activist testifies in front of U.S. Congress. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
Charlie Pride wanted to become the next Jackie Robinson.
Playing in the Negro League, the guys heard my voice and they said, man, you make a lot of money singing. You sing pretty good.
Instead, he became the first black country music superstar.
He sang it so much better than so many of the good country artists at the time.
Look for Charlie Pride.
The Jackie Robinson of country music.
On American Masters.
I remember going hungry. And I remember seeing my mom cry because she couldn't feed her kids. And I tell myself, man, I don't want to live like this anymore.
This is a story of young people who have been left behind.
Hey, man, I can't do this. William, 3 feet, baby.
But it's also the story of America.
Coming up on the next Song of the Mountains. Lively performances where old tradition meets new, here on Song of the Mountains.
I was a highwayman.
They were the country music supergroup that drove us wild, the Highwaymen.
Let's go to Lipton, Texas.
Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson.
Icons of American music.
Look for their story.
I loved them all like brothers.
The Highwaymen, friends till the end.
For me, it was heaven.
On American Masters.
A damaging blow to Saudi Arabia's oil supply sparks a trip to the kingdom for Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Nadia Romero explains this heightened tensions in the Middle East.
Saudi officials not mincing words Wednesday, vowing to hold Iran responsible for Saturday's attack, knocking out nearly half of the kingdom's oil capacity. Rebels in Yemen claimed responsibility, but Wednesday, Saudi officials said that can't be true. They are still working to determine the launch point.
This attack did not originate from Yemen, despite Iran's best efforts to make it appear so. Secondly, the attack was launched from the north and was unquestionably sponsored by Iran.
Iran has denied it's responsible. President Donald Trump tweeting he's increasing sanctions against the country, but leaving all options on the table.
If we have to do something, we'll do it without hesitation.
And one of his top supporters echoing those strong words against Iran, Senator Lindsey Graham, the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee.
I am looking for a response that would be unequivocal. If they don't pay a price for bombing a neighbor's oil fields, then all hell is going to break out in the Mideast.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo traveling to the region to weigh in on the situation.
This was an Iranian attack. The intelligence community has high confidence that these were not weapons that would have been in the possession of the Houthis.
All of this happening as President Trump names U.S. hostage negotiator Robert O'Brien as new national security advisor. In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo also has strong words for the Taliban in Afghanistan. Just ahead of the Democratic elections there, the terrorist group killed at least 48 people in 2 suicide bombings this week and continues to threaten election workers and voters. Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg testified in front of Congress today, just days after meeting with former President Barack Obama. Thunberg has made headlines in recent months for raising awareness about the climate crisis. But today in front of Congress, Thunberg urged lawmakers that she's not the only one they have to listen to.
Because I don't want you to listen to me. I want you to listen to the scientists. And I want you to unite behind the science. And then I want you to take real action.
In her testimony, Thunberg told Congress that she did not prepare any remarks, instead simply urged them to read the International Panel on Climate Change's special report on global warming. New York State is banning the sale of flavored e-cigarettes and nicotine e-liquid. Their action comes in wake of rising health concerns connected to vaping. But as Christian Garzone reports, hundreds of vape shops in the state are now concerned about how they will keep their doors open with the ban in place.
We will be closed in 2 weeks when they take everything off our shelves.
Andrew Ribble's business and 700 other vape shops across the state are now in danger of shutting their doors for good. This after Albany decided to call for an immediate ban on the sale of flavored e-cigarettes.
It's knee-jerk reaction, it's lack of information, it's ignorance.
Ribble says Governor Cuomo is playing politics and Albany's not stopping anything.
You've created a black market, and we already know that when you have a black market and you're making products that are unregulated, which were heavily regulated, by the way, you have deaths.
And those deaths Albany and health officials say is caused by vaping. Ribble and the New York Vapor Association say they know what it is and they don't sell it.
It's called vitamin E acetate, which is used as a cutting agent that's put into illegal black market THC carts.
But lawmakers across the state are saying until they can pinpoint what is causing the harmful effects of vaping, this ban is needed. Health officials in the county want to get to the bottom of it.
Does that mean that all vape products are harmful? Probably not. But until we know which ones are, you can't know. And so that is the justification for why we're issuing such a broad-reaching advisory like we have.
In Ohio, Governor Mike DeWine is reportedly exploring a ban on e-cigarettes as well. According to spokesman Dan Tierney, the issue is, quote, a severe public health issue that needs to be addressed. A Texas city could see the most rainfall from one storm since 2017's Hurricane Harvey. That story still ahead.
And we're going to have lots of sunshine in the coming days, and we have another warm-up coming up soon too. More details about that, and when we're going to see some more rain next on Newswatch. But first, here's a look at stocks of local interest.
I remember going hungry. And I remember seeing my mom cry because she couldn't feed her kids. And I tell myself, man, I don't want to live like this anymore.
This is a story of young people who have been left behind.
Hey, man, I can't do this. William, 3 feet, baby.
But it's also the story of America.
From the Mother Church of Country Music in Nashville, Tennessee, join Ken Burns for an unforgettable concert and celebration of the history of country music, with performances of some of country music's most iconic songs by some of its greatest artists. Country Music live at the Ryman, a concert celebrating the film by Ken Burns.
I was a highwayman.
They were the country music supergroup
Across the universe divide.
that drove us wild, the Highwaymen.
Let's go to Lipton, Texas. With
Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson.
Icons of American music.
Look for their story.
I loved them all like brothers.
The Highwaymen, friends till the end.
For me, it was heaven.
On American Masters.
Charlie Pride wanted to become the next Jackie Robinson.
Playing in the Negro League, the guys heard my voice and they said, man, you make a lot of money singing. You sing pretty good.
Instead, he became the first black country music superstar.
He sang it so much better than so many of the good country artists at the time.
Here's an angel, good morning.
Look for Charlie Pride.
The Jackie Robinson of country music.
On American Masters.
Here's an angel, good morning.
A storm system formed in the Gulf and developed into a tropical storm before making landfall Tuesday. And now officials are issuing flash flood warnings. Forecasters say that the Houston area could see the most rainfall from one storm since Hurricane Harvey in 2017. Camila Bernal is in Galveston with the latest.
Tropical storm Imelda has weakened into a tropical depression since making landfall near Freeport Tuesday afternoon. But officials want Houston area residents to know they're not out of the woods.
Right now what we're expecting is street level flooding. So we encourage people that if they don't need to be out on the streets to please stay home.
The storm continues to dump rain over southeastern Texas and isn't expected to let up for at least a couple of days.
The last few times that it's flooded, I've been out here working in this stuff, and it's pretty dangerous. I've seen some really dangerous stuff happen.
Imelda has prompted a flash flood watch for more than 7 million people. Several Texas schools preemptively canceled activities Wednesday, including those in the Houston and Galveston Independent School Districts and Texas A&M University at Galveston. Even so, some residents are taking the storm threat more seriously than others. Surfers were spotted in the water despite red flag warnings.
It was good enough to get off work early.
And this couple kept their plans to have a picnic on the seawall. As Imelda moves inland, parts of eastern Texas and Louisiana are also expected to feel the effects. In Galveston, Texas, I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
Good evening, I'm forecaster Blake Cuttersley. Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. Right now in Athens, it's going to be pretty pleasant out there this evening. 80 degrees for a temperature at the moment. It's a very pleasant evening out there. Very low humidity compared to what we've had been. It's going to be very pleasant, very fall-like out there. A low breeze out of the northeast of 0 to 5 miles per hour. Around the region, we have similar conditions for most of the area. Warm spots of 84 in Ripley and 85 down there in Ironton, 84 up in Columbus, a little cooler over in Cambridge, 78 degrees and 78 over in New Lexington as well. All of us seeing plenty of sunshine out there. It's going to be a great evening. Go outside for a walk, enjoy the evening, because the precipcast shows nothing out here at the moment. Clear skies out there for the entire region, not tracking any type of rain showers. Those skies are going to be staying clear as we go into the overnight hours tonight. 58 degrees will be our low temperature out there. It's going to be a clear night out there. It's going to be a beautiful night temperature-wise. Should be able to see lots of stars out there. Nice shot of the moon out there as well. And we'll continue to have those east winds 0 to 5 miles per hour. As we take a look hour by hour tonight, breaking it down for you. 75 degrees by 8 p.m. It's going to be a very pleasant evening. Cooling down to 65 degrees by midnight. Like I said, there's going to be lots of stars out there, lots of clear skies. Cooling down to 59 degrees by 8 a.m. when you're waking up. It's going to be a little cool out today, so you might need a jacket out there as you're heading off to work, taking the kids to the bus stop. It's a pretty chilly day out there tomorrow morning. Not too bad, though. Around the region overnight lows, similar conditions, 60 degrees out there in Ripley, 59 here in Athens, and 56 up in Cambridge. We will all be seeing those clear skies out there for most of the evening tonight. As we go through your daily plan tomorrow, waking up tomorrow 8 a.m. for your bus stop forecast, 59 degrees. Like I said, it's going to be a cool start out there for the day. Warm up to 74 degrees by your lunch hour. It's going to be pleasant. Another dry day out there. Low humidity, around 50% humidity, so very dry out there. 80 degrees for 8 p.m. Make sure you grab the sunglasses as you're heading home tomorrow. Going home and pick up the kids at school. It's going to be a pretty sunny day out there this time of year. That sun angle is going to be hitting you right in the eyes right around 4 o'clock out there. So tomorrow in Athens, 80 degrees for a high temperature. It's going to be very sunny out there. Low humidity. It's going to be an absolutely gorgeous day. East winds is 0 to 5 miles per hour. As we take a look around the region, similar conditions for the entire area. 82 in New Lexington, 80 degrees in Ripley, 81 in Ironton, and 84 up in Newark, 81 up in Cambridge. All of us under those clear, sunny skies. That's not going to be lasting very much longer, though. We are going to have some rain showers moving into the area through late weekend. But before we get to the later in the weekend, the start of the weekend looks pretty decent. 83 degrees, again, lots of sunshine, mostly sunny day for your Friday. It's going to be a great start to your weekend. Those winds shifting to the southeast 0 to 5 miles per hour. But as we look at the 7-day forecast, Saturday warming up to 85 degrees, partly sunny skies out there. It's going to be a little bit of a mix of sun and clouds out there, actually. 86 degrees by your Sunday, so it's going to be pretty warm for the end of your weekend. 20% chance of rain showers in the evening time, and that chance of rain will go into the evening morning time on Monday. 81 degrees and cooling back down to 79 on Tuesday. Taylor?
All right, thank you, Blake. It's not something most like to talk about, but an estimated 15 to 30 million American men suffer from erectile dysfunction, and a new study suggests ED may indicate some serious health conditions. Mandy Gaither explains in today's Health Minute.
Erectile dysfunction may predict a man's risk for a future stroke or heart attack. That's what research published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine suggests. The study looked at health records of more than 150,000 men and found men with ED have a 59% higher risk of coronary heart disease, 34% higher risk of stroke, and a 33% higher risk of dying from any cause compared to men without symptoms of impotence. Doctors say ED can develop years before there are signs or symptoms of cardiovascular problems. If you're one of the millions suffering from the condition, focus on weight loss and exercise, which improves symptoms of ED. And if you're a smoker, quit. To see if early heart disease plays a part in your ED, see your doctor. Things to look for include abnormal blood sugars, which can be indicators for diabetes, high cholesterol, and blood pressure. And a coronary artery calcium scan can also identify plaque in the arteries of your heart. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Doctors say to pay attention to underlying risk factors for heart disease, smoking, diabetes, and high cholesterol. And if you have ED, make sure you're treating those even more aggressively. All right, and now sports anchor Ethan Sands joins me. How's it going?
What's going on? Black alumni actually put the Greek in Greek Freak. And going on forward, Ohio football makes progress in and out of Peden, while soccer looks to get back in the win column. Next on Newswatch.
From the Mother Church of Country Music in Nashville, Tennessee, join Ken Burns for an unforgettable concert and celebration of the history of country music, with performances of some of country music's most iconic songs by some of its greatest artists. Country Music live at the Ryman, a concert celebrating the film by Ken Burns.
Charlie Pride wanted to become the next Jackie Robinson.
Playing in the Negro League, the guys heard my voice and they said, man, you make a lot of money singing. You sing pretty good.
Instead, he became the first black country music superstar.
He sang it so much better than so many of the good country artists at the time.
Look for Charlie Pride.
The Jackie Robinson of country music.
On American Masters.
I was a highwayman.
They were the country music supergroup
Across the universe divide.
that drove us wild, the Highwaymen.
Let's go to Lipton, Texas. With
Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson.
Icons of American music.
Look for their story.
I loved them all like brothers.
The Highwaymen, friends till the end.
For me, it was heaven.
On American Masters.
I remember going hungry. And I remember seeing my mom cry because she couldn't feed her kids. And I tell myself, man, I don't want to live like this anymore.
This is a story of young people who have been left behind.
Hey, man, I can't do this. William, 3 feet, baby.
But it's also the story of America.
This past weekend was BAR, and for those who don't know, that stands for Black Alumni Reunion. It takes place every 3 years, and this year, fraternity Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated and Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated face off in a competitive, yet friendly, pickup basketball game. This past weekend was BAR, like I just said, and this was a game that was a sight to see. Guys, they were doing everything they could to prove where they should be. And the music had the guys jumping all game long. And they had to make sure that the fraternities had the upper hand. There was no shortage of hustle displayed. Players were diving on the floor and scrapping for loose balls. The friendly rivalry between these two organizations shined out in many ways, as players would get a bucket on an opponent and then ask for the ball right back to try and do the same. The Kappas lost one of their key players to dehydration in the third quarter, and the Alphas, well, they ran away with it from there. They went on a scoring tear, and their defense was airtight. They ended up winning this one 63-50. The celebration was electric, and so was the entire event. These guys would just go and do whatever it took to win the game. We always are showing love to our alumni, if you couldn't tell by now. And former OU football star A.J. Ouellette has signed with the Toronto Argonauts on the extended practice team. If you saw this man play when he was at Peden, then there's no doubt that he'll make an immediate impact. As my man Brian Kerp said yesterday, Air Canada and Ryan Lerman both got awards this week for their performances. But that doesn't mean that the team can't improve. The Ohio offense can't rely on strictly Rourke putting up beastly numbers from the backfield. So expect some different running backs like O'Shawn Allison and Montre Tuggle to get some more touches. But with Air Canada wanting to skyrocket up draft boards, there needs to be a showing of resilience after the last 2 tough losses. The leadership has shown in his time at OU, and it's been obvious. But it's clear that Saturday's game against Louisiana is crucial in the confidence department. ESPN has the Bobcats matched up as the underdogs, but you should never count them out. If the Bobcats bounce back against the Raging Cajuns, they have head into the conference play with a 2-2 record. But there's a touchdown from Shane Hooks. I mean, they call him Hollywood for a reason. Go up and get that ball, big man. And he's going to take the opportunities given to him. His athleticism will be a problem. Did I mention he's a redshirt freshman? So get used to that name. The Ohio soccer team got off to a record-breaking start as they began their season 5-0. Sadly, that history came to an end this past week against Robert Morris in Ohio State. The team still has an amazing performance, and notably in the goal, Sidney Malham has played just over 505 minutes and only allowed, get this, 7 goals with 20 total saves. Malham and her squad look to pick things up against Georgetown this coming Friday.
Always preparing ourselves to play the style that we want to play. You know, we went into Ohio State knowing that we're going to go and take our game to them, and they're going to have to adjust to us, and that's what we're going to do against Georgetown on Friday. We're going to play our style, because when we get into conference, we're going to play our style. And so obviously everything that we're doing up to now is to prepare for the MAC. And so for us, just stay true to who we are and make ourselves better and better and become more confident and comfortable with each other in the way that we like to play. And so we just keep building on and building on and building on. And you know, this is a very confident team. This is a very good team. They believe in each other. And so, you know, we're going to have to face some dips in the road every now and then, and we have, but I'm fully confident this team's going to be flying from now on.
Man, Ethan, it seems like those girls are hungry to get back in the winning column.
Yeah, Taylor, and I'm excited to see it. But until then, that's all I got for you.
All right, thank you. These authorities did more than just lend a helping hand. They made a human chain. The human chain helped free 4 dolphins stranded in a Florida canal Monday. Authorities formed the chain using sounds and vibrations in the water to lead them back out to the Riviera Bay. The dolphins had been trapped in the canal in St. Petersburg since Sunday. 2 of them were young calves. Let's go over to Blake for one final look at the weather.
Well, it's going to be a pretty cool night out there tonight in Athens. Overnight lows, we're going to be looking at 58 degrees. It's going to be a clear night out there. It's going to see lots of stars and the moon out there. It's going to be a beautiful night overall. We'll have east winds of 0 to 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow in Athens, looking at 80 degrees for a high temperature. It's going to be very sunny out there, and another low humidity today. Humidity is going to be around 50%, which is considered pretty low. It's going to be very comfortable out there. We'll continue to have those east winds of 0 to 5 miles per hour. As we go through the 7-day forecast, 83 degrees by your Friday. It's going to be a beautiful start to the weekend. Warm up to 85 degrees on Saturday, 86 degrees on your Sunday. We have a chance of seeing some rain showers Sunday evening into Monday. We're going to be cooling down to 81 degrees on Monday, 79 degrees on your Tuesday, plenty of sunshine out there. And by Wednesday, middle of next week, 80 degrees, plenty of sunshine. It's going to be very nice and very beautiful out there, Taylor.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you for watching. I'm Taylor Bruck. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.